Dawson's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. Welcome to another Power Rangers theory video. This one is based on the new series Drakkon New Dawn and a new character we got introduced to in issue 1, or possibly a new character, which is this guy in this ranger armor suit with a mysterious identity. As of issue 1, we don't know who he is, so I wanted to speculate on some possible ideas of who this guy could be. Now, he's been chained up by Drakkon for some time, and he sort of uses him for both mental and physical sparring, where he would literally fight him, and then, you know, when the fight went too far, one way or the other, he could zap him and put him back in chains. And he would also come to him and ask him, like, how he would defeat him. He showed him, like, hey, I'm gonna do Shattered Grid. It's this event for the 25th anniversary. You should check it out. And he's like, I hate you. And he's like, yeah, but just tell me about strategies, okay? And so we would show him, like, the fight and say, okay, how would you have stopped me? Because he said he missed getting that opposing point of view. Like, I'm not opposing point of view, dude. That's what his role is. And we don't know much about him other than he's chained up, and he said that he would kill Drakkon essentially if he got out. Now, who could this guy be? I think it's Snoke. No, I'm just kidding. It's not Snoke. I made Snoke. I think there's a couple different options. I feel like the most likely is somebody from MMPR. So it's probably Ernie. So he's just torturing him and be like, hey, I bet you'd really like to make smoothies, but you can't. Could be either Jason or Billy, which is a candidate I've seen people bring up, because they're supposed to be killed off in the world of the coin list, but you never know in PR, especially... I mean, it could be Billy. I think if it was one of those two, it's more likely Jason, who, if you don't remember, way back in the early comics when we got the origins of the coinless, in the coinless world, Jason was actually going to be the one about to become the White Ranger because, you know, Tommy Dunn stayed evil, and then he got killed right when it was going to happen, which is when, you know, Drakkon stole the White Ranger powers and grafted them together with his Green Ranger ones. But we were told that Jason was killed, but we never, even if we saw a body, it doesn't matter. There's been stories on soaps where you could, like, watch the character go through a meat grinder and they'd be back. So it doesn't even matter. So I think it could be Jason just because throughout the series, both the comics and to an extent in the TV show, you know, Jason and Tommy have always had some different ideals. You know, they were going to make that whole hexagon idea based off of that. So maybe Tommy missed that, like, back and forth with Jason of different approaches to things. And so that would make sense as to why he would keep Jason around like that for that purpose, and him being around that long would kind of line up with it. And I think that could be interesting. In a lot of ways, that would be the most generic choice. You know, there's a lot more interesting things they could do with this idea. This would definitely be the most safe, like, oh, it's an MMPR character. But I admit, I think it would be really interesting, and I wouldn't be mad if that's what happened. I was actually just wondering, back when Ranger Slayer 1 came out, like, you know, oh, what about Jason in this world? And I remembered he got killed, and I was thinking how, you know, it's kind of a missed opportunity. Like, that was kind of an unexpected scene, but I think that there some interesting potential for what would happen in Jason in the world of the coinless. So I think that could be potentially interesting for his character in general, especially if Jason sticks around. I'm doing the thing where I keep slipping into accents all of a sudden. I don't know why it happens. But again, it could be Billy, because he's another character that was supposed to have been killed. And, you know, I'm not saying I would be upset, but I think of the two, it would be more interesting, in my opinion, if that happened. I mean, it could be Zordon. Maybe somehow he put Zordon in that suit. You know, he's trapped in that time warp, but maybe he somehow found a way to trap him in the suit rather than a tube. You know, I keep coming back to that line where he says, I'm gonna kill you, which I'm trying to think, like, that would be out of character for certain people, but I don't know. Zordon's always been kind of a douche, but this is the comics, you know, they could do different stuff. Who knows how long? Where is he? Who knows how long he's been chained up? So anybody that was previously a good character could say something like that, depending on how long they've been chied up. Like, you know, he's like, yo, drink this vanilla chai. He's like, hey, vanilla chai, you're a monster. Also possible it could be another character from the Zordon era we haven't seen yet. Rocky, looking good Rocky. I don't know why it would be Rocky unless we have seen Rocky. You know, maybe it's somebody from Turbo or some in space, you know, because we have that Ecliptor stuff coming in. It could be somebody from that realm. I kind of doubt it, because again, it feels like Drakkon has a more personal connection to it. It could somehow be tied to Ranger lore. I mean, just the way he looks. And I'm a bit confused about this one because it looked like Drakkon was fusing him to this suit, but when I first saw him, I thought that it was a suit he already had. So could it be the first Ranger? Like, that would be kind of cool. I know that there was talk in the press releases for the upcoming Power Rangers and Mighty Morphin series about delving into the origins of the Rangers or something we didn't know about Ranger history. And if they somehow end up having all these series tie together, if he was like the original Ranger or something like that, that could potentially be interesting if they do a crossover between those storylines. Again, it seems like he has a more personal connection to Drakkon, but given that Drakkon's whole plan involved going into the Morphin Grid with the Morphin Masters, if he somehow found the original Ranger, I think that could be interesting. Maybe he's tied to the Morphin Masters or the Emissary somehow. Maybe it's the secret green Emissary. I don't know. I think that those could be two likely options though, which are somebody familiar like Jason or maybe someone tied to deeper lore. And I honestly would be fine with either. I'm a little bit doubtful it would be something like the first Ranger or something along those lines. I think that's a possibility, but I feel a little more doubtful again solely because of the familiarity Drakkon seemed to have with him and sort of bringing up the whole idea of him offering a conflicting ideal viewpoint, and he kind of missed that, and it seemed at least familiar in some way. I think it would be really interesting to delve into Ranger lore if it has something to do with that, but you know, there's still interesting potential if it's a character we know. I think it would be kind of cool if we found out it was somebody from like the Zordon era realm and then find out how that character fits into the coin list, because you would think like, what if it's like TJ or something? I don't know. Like, how would that make sense? Or, you know, what if it was Andros? Like, Andros never met Tommy. But in the world of the coin list, you know, we don't know what's happened. So I think that could be interesting. But again, I don't think it would be that disinteresting if it was Jason. I think there's a lot of potential there, especially if he gets out of this suit and survives. Although, you know, if it was Jason, why wouldn't he just say, hey, Kim, it's me, Jason? He probably thinks that she's going to talk to her manager with that haircut. But still, he would think he would say something. I don't know. But what do you guys think? Who do you think this mysterious Ranger is? Who do you want it to be? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell for notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.